class. It is Tuesday, March 31st, and we've got our history lesson going for right now. Guess what happened last night? So in the Bible lesson, which you should have watched earlier, I encouraged you to think of a way that you could go the extra mile to show somebody that you love them, whether it be a mom, dad, family member, sibling, somebody in your neighborhood. How could you extend Christ's love to them? Well, last night somebody did that for us. So we were sitting in the living room just relaxing as a family. We go and we open our front door later on, and we find a little roll of toilet paper there at the front door, believe it or not. And it has a note attached to it. It says, "You've been loved, now pass it on." And it had the verse, "For greater love has no man than this, that he laid his life down for his friends." So I thought, what the heck? That's so cool. I mean, toilet paper's like gold these days, right? And somebody just dropped it off at our house. So what a neat idea to show some love to somebody. We don't know who did it. It was anonymous, but it was really cool. What a blessing. So today, I actually have an interesting video for you to watch about toilet paper. That's why I mentioned that. Did you guys know that the ancient Chinese are actually credited for inventing toilet paper? I know, pretty crazy. We're learning about ancient China. There's a toilet paper crisis. It's just all coming together for you. So I want you to watch that video. It's called Life in Ancient China. It is on my YouTube channel, and just enjoy. Now, for dojo points, I want you to send me an email. What did they use? But I don't want you trying it at home. All right? I wanted you to try at home the showing love to others. That's all good and fine, but I don't want to hear anything about what you're using if you run out of toilet paper. That is between you and your parents, not me. I don't want to know. All right, so dojo points if you can tell me what they used before they invented toilet paper, and check that one out. Now, for today, we're going to go over our answers for the history homework. You should have page 102 and 103 completed. We're looking at page 102 right here, so we're going to go over our answers together. This one was all about looking at those key terms. So if we look at question number 1, how did the mandate of heaven justify the overthrow of a dynasty? Remember, the mandate of heaven was that they're saying the gods have their approval. They're meant to rule. How did that work? Well, what we saw was if one dynasty overthrew another, the victory was seen as proof that heaven supported the change. It's just that simple. Whoever won the battle was seen to have the support of heaven. So whoever was victorious, they had the mandate of heaven. All right, number 2. How did the actions of the Zhou kings lead to powerful warlords? Well, first what we saw was they put their family members in charge, and then their family members would help to keep the peace, to quash anybody who would come to try to overtake them. But then we see those nobles get that craving for power, and they want more power, and they start fighting against each other, and then they become stronger warlords of their own states. Okay, so we have first Zhou kings placed family members in charge of states, which weakened the ties between the king and the nobles. Later, the kings became dependent on the nobles to help hold the throne. I think I'm going to run out of room. I'm typing too much on this one, guys. And the nobles grew to be strong warlords. Let's see what it does to become... yes, it won't let me. All right, well, first the Zhou kings placed family members in charge of states, which weakened the ties. So let's just say that the ties were weakened between the kings and the nobles. First, the ties Gotta make do with what room we've got. Were weakened between the kings and the nobles. Later, the kings became dependent on the nobles to help hold the throne, and the nobles grew to become strong warlords of their states. That's better. All right, a little bit more summarized for us there. All right, so what caused China to enter that era of chaos? So as they start fighting against each other, they gain more power, and minor battles escalate into all-out war. So we see the warlords began fighting to gain more power, and minor battles escalated into all-out war. That state of chaos, what we don't want happening on the toilet paper aisle at Costco. All right, what was life like in China during the Warring States period? So as they're infighting, they're fighting against each other. We see brutal and destructive battles break out. And millions of people died. So these warlords are just, hungry for power. They're continuing to fight against each other, and we see that millions of people did end up dying, unfortunately. So again, these are just a summary of what you could have written for page 102. Your answers should be something similar to what I have, but you don't have to have the exact same phrasing. If you worded it a little bit different, that's okay, as long as you have the similar idea. So tomorrow you do have a Kahoot quiz on section 2, so please make sure you're studying this information, you're familiar with the key terms, you can define them and also say how they relate to ancient China. If you're looking for a study guide support, I did give you some questions at the end of the video from yesterday that went over some of the questions that might just appear on that Kahoot quiz. Now, because it is a Kahoot quiz, you can take it more than once. Make sure that you do type your name and cubby number so I know who you are, but you can take it more than once. If you don't do so well the first time, take it again. That's okay. And it is considered open book, open notes because, you've got access to it at home. So take advantage of that as well, but please be prepared so that way you can do really well. I know you guys can do this. All right. See you later. Bye.